In color, the continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Dorothy Malone as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Ryan O'Neal as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington, Patricia Morrow as Rita Harrington, James Douglas as Stephen Cord.
Today, a Hastings Valley farmer named Jack Chandler has driven into Peyton Place. While the attention of the town is on the courthouse, where Martin Peyton is being interrogated by Stephen Cord, this man Chandler has come to claim the girl he calls his niece, Rachel Wells, the girl who was found with the bracelet of the missing Allison Mackenzie.
Mrs. Montgomery? Well, this is Doctor's hospital. I'd like to speak with her.
We've got a patient here, Rachel Wells. What's her room number?
Mrs. Montgomery, just a moment, please. May I help you?
Well, go ahead, finish your call.
Thank you. Mrs. Montgomery, is Tuesday at 8 a.m. all right with you for the lab work? Fine. Goodbye. Now, what can I do for you?
Rachel Wells is a patient here, isn't she?
Yes.
I'd like to see her. My name's Chandler, Jack Chandler. I'm her uncle.
I'm sorry, but she's not allowed to have any visitors.
Oh? Is she that sick?
I don't know, but Miss Choate left specific instructions.
Miss Choate, a doctor?
No, she's the head nurse.
Rachel's my niece, miss. I'm really worried about her. Couldn't you just...
I'm sorry, Mr. Chandler. I must follow instructions.
Is there a gift shop around here?
Right across the street. If you go out that door.
Rachel loves candy. I'd like to get her a box. Maybe you'd be kind enough to take it to her for me.
I'd be glad to.
Thank you.
Miss Choate? There was a man here asking to see Rachel. He said his name was Chandler. He said he was her uncle. He seemed very nice.
Thank you for letting me know. Choate speaking. Find Dr. Rossi immediately and have him get in touch with me.
I'll take this end, eh?
All right, Mr. Dawson.
And handle this like it was pure gold.
I'm beginning to think that's what it is.
Well, what are you doing here? Don't tell me Connie's taking Matthew away for the rest of the day.
Hey, what's in the box?
A baby elephant. I want to be sure that Matthew likes baby elephants.
Well, I don't know why I'm keeping you standing here. Everybody's home. Come on in.
Steady as you go, Ed. Whoa!
You sign the invoice, Mr. Dawson?
Yeah.
Right there.
There you are. Thank you, Ed.
Anytime, Mr. Dawson.
We'll see you again now.
Right.
Excuse me. Mrs. Carson? Mrs. Carson? I got to stay with the baby this afternoon because Betty had to go to court.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
An elephant?
Well, Matthew, look who's here, your grandfather.
Hello there, Matthew.
See, he brought you a present, Matthew. Ooh. What is it? A baby elephant. Where are we going to stable it?
Turn your back now, Matthew. No fair peeking. Just 1 minute here. Now, Presto! For Matthew.
It's magnificent.
It sure is.
To help start Matthew on the right road, with love from Grandfather Carson.
That's right. You told me in the hospital you were ordered something big and extravagant.
Demonstration. Summertime, convertible. Wintertime, top up.
Well, would you like to take a little stroll around the living room? Could we really?
Sure, a dry run.
Well, a run anyway. There's a diaper over on the table. We wouldn't want to mess up our limousine the first time out. There you go.
Huh? Oh, release the brake.
There we go. Come on, darling. There you go, Rita.
Let's go. You know, babies really have a great life.
Oh, easy now, easy on the turn.
He's really enjoying it.
He should be. It's the motion. It's like a rocking chair on wheels.
Now, don't go too fast. Maybe he ain't such a good traveler. This is the way it's going to be, Matthew. Women will push you around. You might as well get used to it.
Mr. Peyton, when the district attorney asked you if you knew the defendant, you replied that you did. May I ask you how well you know him?
I don't wish to cavil, Mr. Cord, but I didn't say I knew him. I said I was acquainted with him.
Then you don't know Lee Weber personally?
No.
Well, how is it that you were acquainted with him at all?
We met once by accident.
Have you discussed him with anyone?
Yes.
Who?
Primarily with my grandson.
That would be the defendant's former employer, Rodney Harrington?
Yes.
What was it that Rodney Harrington told you about the defendant, Mr. Peyton?
Just a moment, Mr. Cord. Mr. Fowler, don't you have any objections to the introduction of hearsay evidence into the testimony?
Not of this nature, Your Honor.
Well, inasmuch as prosecution raises no objections and this is a preliminary hearing with no jury, you may proceed, Mr. Cord. But please be as expeditious as possible.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
I'm not quite as senile as you may believe, Mr. Cord.
I'm glad to know that, Mr. Peyton. Because a man's life depends on your ability to recall everything connected with this case. But then a girl's life once depended on you, too.
Your Honor.
Counsel?
If you recall the question, would you please answer it?
You asked me to tell you what my grandson told me about Lee Weber. He didn't have to tell me anything. He just came through the front door one evening, all bloodied and bruised. He did a fight with that savage young Simeon over there.
Did you see that fight?
Only the results.
Did you see Lee Weber's face? Was it bloodied and bruised?
Mr. Cord, I consider this whole area irrelevant to the issue before the court.
Your Honor.
In a hearing of this nature, it is the posture of this court to give the defense a wide latitude. But you have gone far beyond the boundaries established on direct examination of the witness, Mr. Cord.
Your Honor, this witness's testimony under direct examination was motivated entirely by a desperate effort to make sure the blame for Ann Howard's death was laid as far away from his own doorstep as possible.
This court has observed nothing desperate in the witness's testimony, Mr. Cord. And I submit to you that his remarks may have been motivated by the district attorney, since they were so solicited by him.
But, Your Honor, the witness admits having no personal contact at all with the defendant. And yet it's obvious by the tone of his remarks he considers him expendable.
Mr. Cord.
Someone he'd allow to stand in his own place and receive the death sentence.
Mr. Cord, your remarks are entirely out of line.
Well, that's all right, Your Honor. The boy was always prone to petulance.
Mr. Cord, I am aware of a certain emotional involvement in this particular case. But I must ask you to remember that you are an officer of this court. If you cannot act like an officer of this court, then you would be better off, and your client would be better off if you were to withdraw from this case. Mr. Cord? Mr. Cord, are you finished with the witness?
No, Your Honor. I am not finished with the witness.